Hi everyone, my name is Adam, and for this assignment, I chose to listen to a public speaker I strongly disagree with. And for this public speaker, I chose Alex Jones. Alex Jones is really known for his extremely controversial views and very conspiratorial rhetoric, which are very different from my own beliefs, especially when it comes to media credibility and public responsibility. For this assignment, I watched a segment from his address titled "The Truth They Don't Want You to Know." Normally, I wouldn't really watch his content because I find it really exaggerated and very misleading, but for this assignment, I purposely approached it using ethical listening guidelines from this week's unit, and I listened to it with an open mind, suspending judgment, and trying to understand rather than just immediately react in a harmful way, knowing what I know about him. It wasn't easy at the beginning. I could feel myself getting defensive. He speaks loudly, uses very aggressive language, and frames his ideas as if anyone who disagrees is part of the problem. But I focus on staying calm and just listening to the message itself rather than the messenger. Listening in this intentional, ethical way changed the experience for me. I'm not gonna lie. I still disagree with most of his claims. They're like very outlandish. I think I remember one time he was like talking about how chemicals turn frogs gay. But I could understand how he appeals to his audience. He uses emotional storytelling, fear-based appeals, and presents himself as a protector or hero fighting against corruption. By analyzing his rhetoric instead of reacting emotionally, I started to see why some people find him persuasive. His delivery creates a sense of urgency and community for his listeners. Did the experience really change my opinion of him? Not really. He's still very outlandish and not very good to listen to. But it did change me how I view him as a speaker, because instead of seeing him as just someone who's simply wrong or outrageous, I now see him as someone who's very strategic on the way he speaks, and he knows how to engage with his audience very well, obviously, because he's very successful and has his own talk show and platform. After listening, I thought about whether I feel ethically obligated to respond or speak out, given what we learned about rhetoric, and I think yes, to some extent. Rhetoric has power. When someone with a large platform spreads ideas that can mislead or harm people, there is an ethical responsibility to counter misinformation. However, the way we respond matters just as much as whether we respond at all. Ethical communication means staying factual, respectful, and focus on truth rather than attacking the person. This assignment made me realize that speaking ethically also requires listening ethically, even to people we strongly disagree with. It helps prevent reactions rooted in emotion rather than logic, and it prepares us to respond more responsibly. Overall, the experience pushed me outside of my comfort zone, but it was valuable. It reminded me that even when we disagree with a speaker, approaching their message with fairness, critical thinking, and ethical listening leads to better understanding and better communication. Thank you for listening.